Welcome to another Colors of Prog. I'm Louis Paul, your host. This is the Podbean, YouTube, and Facebook channel, episodic channel, where I discuss progressive rock recordings, past and present. This is Season 3, Episode 18. So it's very rare where I will just talk about one album. And it's a new Yes album, Mirror to the Sky. Well, I'm going to start with, it's not the Yes of the classic era. How could it be? But with the current lineup, sans Chris Squire, who passed in 2015, this is the best of the 3 studio albums they've done since 2014's Heaven and Earth and 2021's The Quest. And that says a lot, actually. Essentially, this makes it Yes's best studio effort since Magnification in 2001, or even the latter in 1999. And those two feature John Anderson on vocals. So, if we're discounting Anderson being in the band, this is the best Yes studio album since Anderson was in the band. For the first time, to my own ears, from Stop Trying to Sound Like John Anderson, singer John Davison actually sounds more like late Yes period John Anderson. Does that make sense? They've been touring a lot, and they've been playing shows for a long, long time, on and off, touring all around the world. They played a couple appearances on the Progressive Rock Cruise to the Edge, but they played, Asia, Europe, the Americas. And, John Davison from Glass Hammer, formerly, and other bands, replaced Benoit David. We discussed this before. But, he had to go out night after night, sing these songs that John Anderson had made infamous. It's just, these are Yes songs that everyone knows. They did a Close to the Edge tour, and and they get it. Davison has to sound like Anderson to pull it off. So this is the first time listening to Mirror to the Sky, appropriately enough, as we're heading toward Earth, that John Davison is trying less harder, singing in possibly a lower register, and he actually sounds more like John Anderson. Other people have said the same thing, so that's a good thing. He was on tour, yes, all these years, singing Anderson's phrases and vocals night after night. I'm sure it altered his singing style, but nice to hear that he's singing in a lower register. It sounds more natural, and it sounds more like John Anderson, so that's a good thing. What is most glaringly evident is the pronounced lack of keyboards in the overall mix. Production credited to Steve Howe, and admittedly, it is quite punchy and occasionally bass-driven, and that's good for me. I like Yes is a keyboards and bass-driven band, and a lot of their live recordings have been a little less thrilling in the bass department, and you would have to on your own amp that up. There's a song called Unknown Place, I believe. Yes. And you actually, that's one of the few instances you get to hear Jeff Downes' keyboards more prominent in the mix. I'm not sure what was Steve Howe's intention to mix down. Keyboards are a essential part of Yes music, whoever's playing them, right? And there's been a lot of keyboard players over the years. So whoever's playing the keyboards, it's an essential part of Yes. Whether it's Tom Breslin for the symphonic classical tour, or appearances, or Oliver Wakeman, or Igor Koroshev, Rick Wakeman, Tony Kaye, Patrick Moraz. The list goes on and on. Keyboards are an essential part of music, but they just sound mysteriously, for whatever reason, a little lower mixed into the sound, except for Unknown Place, where it's more prominent, which is nice to hear. So, Cut from the Stars, All Connected, Mirror to the Sky, and to a lesser extent, Luminosity, are the best tracks on this double CD LP album. Easily, it could have really fit on a single CD or a single LP. The first half is 47 minutes long, and this part 2 is 16 minutes long. And I have many CDs that CD technology is amazing nowadays. I pop it in, and it's like, oh, this is an hour and 22 minutes, like some King Crimson live material or something like that, and or some studio effort from some band. And I'm like, well, yes, could have put this out on one CD, but they chose to break it up for whatever reason. I read in more than one review of Mirror to the Sky that alluded to the origin of some of these songs, and that they were initially intended for the aborted second Anderson Bruford Wakeman Howe album. It's interesting. I don't know if it's true, how true that is. I cannot confirm. But there are more noteworthy Yes fans than myself, and there are those who are more knowledgeable about such things. So it's quite possible that some of the songs were old, sitting around, and Steve Howe wanted to follow up the quest, which probably wasn't as well received as they would have wished, and had everybody go in the studio, and we're going to do this. Or if these are all original new songs, that's also good. That's also good. Also of note, this is the first time that the drums and percussions are credited solely to Jay Shellen, who, after years assisting and ailing Alan White, both on tour and occasionally in the studio, had finally become an official member of Yes. Prior to the recording of Mirror to the Sky, did I say stars? It's all the same, right? Stars are in the sky. The sky's in the stars. Alan White had passed away. And so Jay Shellen afterwards became an official member of Yes, which was nice. And, if you're going to... I took a chance. I said, I listened to... Here's another thing. The mixes are all different. There's the digital audio download version mixes of these songs, which sound mixed different than the CD, the compact disc version, which is mixed different from the vinyl version. So, for those who are anal about such things, or really care about music, or just like noting, hey, why is that more prominent here? So this, what I'm holding in my hands, is big, thick. It's big. It's heavy. Version is a deluxe version. And so we have the 2 CDs, Cut from the Stars, All Connected, Luminosity, Living Out Their Dream, Mirror to the Sky, Circles of Time. Seems to be the track most people are not too drawn to. Unknown Place, 1 Second Is Enough, and Magic Potion are the second disc. It's split out into 2 vinyl discs, and pretty much, the second vinyl disc equals out to what was on the second. Now, most interesting, there's other mixes. There's Blu-ray, which contains a Dolby Atmos mix, which I found a bit trebly on the high end. A 5.1 surround sound mix, instrumentals. Now you have to dig around for these on the Blu-ray. There are some instrumental versions of the songs, so sans vocals, and some more high-res stereo mixes of the album. So it's quite the package. You also get a booklet here with photographs of the guys recording this in the studio at the time, color photographs. And you get a large fold-out poster of the Roger Dean artwork. And I have to say I was a little underwhelmed. Roger Dean, yes, synonymous. I was a little underwhelmed by that until I saw the poster, which is quite big, actually. I was a bit surprised. Then the full version of the Roger Dean poster looks like this, and it's quite nice. So if you like blue, it's a very nice thing. So a lot of people are also discussing this as well. There's only one yes, and that's with John Anderson. And this is Yes Light or the other Yes. And there's stuff going on in the social media. There's always been stuff going on. John Anderson recently did a tour with a band called the Band Geeks. And it was well received, and tons of stuff on social media and YouTube from those shows. So some people even said this is musically similar to Arc of Life, which also features John Davison, Billy Sherwood, and Jay Shellen, with Jimmy Hahn on guitars and Dave Kersner on keyboards. But it's different. It's different from that. It's yes. It's what we have now is yes. And one song clocks in at 14 minutes, 2 at 9, and 1 at 8. So it's probably while not a formidable follow-up to something like Close to the Edge, Topographic Oceans, Relayer, Drama, or even 90125, which is entirely different sounding, yes. As I said on the outset, it's probably the best Yes studio album since Magnification. That says a lot. Repeated listenings might improve some songs that didn't initially grab you. So there is a thing though here that which must be said. There's no grabbable chorus or phrases vocally. No fault of John Davison. The songwriting is a thing for the lyrics. The songwriting is the thing that suffers. So noticeably on the Close to the Edge tour, when they were doing songs from The Quest, it was like bathroom break time for a lot of people because they were just weak songs. So it'll be interesting when they go out again to support whatever the album that they're thinking of playing, or Yes Classics, I believe, something like that. And they're definitely going to be playing some Mirror to the Sky material, no doubt. And I hope the people stay around because I think once they woodshed this stuff live, I think it might take on a life of its own. Especially the tunes that I mentioned, Cut from the Stars, All Connected, Mirror to the Sky, and Luminosity, which I think personally are some of the best ones on here. So, yeah, it's a good Yes studio album. For what the band that exists now, today, it's a very good Yes studio album. It's not a great Yes studio album, but you can't get a great Yes studio album unless you keep crossing your fingers and, magic happens. Magic can always happen. Magic can always happen in music. Remember, music makes magic happen based on moods. If you're feeling low, certain kind of music will make you feel more upbeat. If you're depressed as fuck, certain things are going to bring you back down. You know, it's just the way it works. But for the most part, you know, think as music as something to change whatever miserable mood you're in and make you feel better. And so, Mirror to the Sky winds up being a surprise. I would give it 3.5 stars if I was going to rate such things that way. Um, Maybe to be generous, 4 over time. Probably wouldn't downgrade it. So there's that. So that was my review of and it was a long one, of the long overdue Mirror to the Sky, yes, 2023 release. Hope you enjoy it. Please come back for more.